Get it done, XSplit. Get it done. There we go. Oh, wait. Hold on. I need to actually update this. All right. Ignore this. Or ignore the statistics screen. I didn't update it. We're hopping. Oh, God. Everything's breaking. Hey, all right. We're here. Semifinals number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Olimoleague number 61. We're going to be spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map on Arena on top of the orange Terran player. Give it up for Soloist.
In the top left as the pink Zerg, it's Scarlett.
All right, now I'm going to tab out and update the nameplates and everything as I get like 50 messages like, hey, Fear Dragon, did you know that everyone can tell when you tab out because you don't have continuous in-game sounds? And I'm like, yes, I did know that. Thank you. I just don't care.
Why don't you have continuous in-game sounds?
I hate continuous in-game sounds. Like when you tab out, when I tab out, I want the music to stop playing. Half the time I have to tab out during like the, you know, like the starting screen, you have Artanis like jumping in and being super duper freaking loud, or you have like the freaking battle cruiser on the planet's background that's just like blasting off at like 500 decibels. I tab out to get rid of that noise.
So I almost always just immediately go to multiplayer because I'm the one making all the lobbies.
Yeah.
So that gets rid of it.
So I'm a Protoss player, and that means that I have that stupid annoying like Psyblade sound that's constantly there when I'm on the multiplayer screen.
No, I go to like make ladder map.
Oh, you know, that would actually make sense. That would be a smart thing to do. Really quickly.
I mean, that's what we had to figure out back when Nova was grunting all the time.
Oh
And we were
God.
like, Stop!
Yeah, that's I just have everything tabbed out. That's my solution. We do have a fairly fast factory coming out of here. This is almost like, I mean, maybe you can speak to this a little bit more in terms of meta and everything, but in my mind, this is like reminiscent of old school Wings of Liberty when you occasionally see the Terran player go for the factory before the command center to get out faster reactor Hellions.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, exactly. It's like Wings of Liberty. It's I think it's really bad. This isn't the first time we've seen it, and it's not like, I don't really want to say it's because Soloist is just like this guy that isn't very good, because I have no idea. I've not cast him before. Although apparently Scarlett's played him before, and she says that he is worse than Keen. But it's something that I feel I do only see from Terrans that feel they can't win, and they're hoping that Arena will give them like an easy win. So this can be multiple things. It can be like I think most common is like a very, very early tank push, so you can try and abuse that ledge a little bit earlier than you would if you had gone for command center. In this case, it looks like to be a very, very early Hellbat attack, which like would be very surprising if Scarlett didn't know he wasn't going for one base build. Like if she thought he was going for a command center, then maybe you don't get the Roach Warren for like another 30 seconds, and then you're in trouble. But you know something is up, so you're gonna get units.
Yeah, I mean, she already scouted out the early factory as soon as that got plopped down. She saw that the command center was later, and she immediately just plopped down a Roach Warren and is getting out roaches. These roaches are going to be here before the Hellions even turn into Hellbats.
Yeah, there's no medevac, there's no Marines. Even if the roaches weren't already here, which is usually like they have to be out and ready to go for Hellbat attack.
Run
I
away.
still think she would. This is definitely failed. This actually put him in a really bad position. Like he only delayed the command center like a little bit, but it's still such a crucial amount, and Scarlett should be feeling very safe.
Oh boy. Well, that could not have gone worse, I think.
Yeah.
Like literally has not killed a unit yet.
Okay, and yeah, couldn't have gone worse. And now she has Ravager, she has the Overlord. I mean, she didn't really even have to sacrifice that much economy to do this. Like this kind of just went right into what Zergs want to do on this map.
We're seeing Hellbats being kited by Ravagers. I think this is a first for me.
Oh god, it's just, like, even with the Marine production, all she needs to do is get a couple of like lings to buffer, and I don't think it matters. Oh, there's a third command center on location. Okay, yeah, go kill that.
Okay. Well, more road. I almost feel like, you know, Scarlett was like droning up a bit, and then she's just like, wait, there's nothing here. I guess we'll just make more roaches and like come kill you. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I actually think that's exactly what it was. She could get a third base because she's banking a bit from not just not having enough larva, and she could probably all in and win. And I don't even think I would hesitate to call it a real all in. The third base is gonna go down. As Soloist just was way too greedy with it. I mean, funnily enough, if he had just got into the main command center, he could have had a decent time holding, get a bunker, get the medevac for the siege tank, and maybe you do hold. But he's not getting a bunker, and he doesn't have a medevac yet. So the tank just goes down, and this should be a win for Scarlett.
Yeah, GG. Scarlett walks away with game number 1 in a surprisingly easy fashion.
Yep. Alright then.
All right. Well, in that case, I know that Scarlett already beat Keen, but Keen was able to hold off the all-ins at least. I guess that was also an all-in though from Soloist, so I don't know. How does Soloist even bring this series back? Scarlett already showed that she has a really solid ZvT late game, especially if she's just allowed to do whatever she wants.
Yeah. So we're gonna wait on Soloist's map choice. Told me to wait. English map name.
Do they have different names in Korea? Do they not refer to them as Frozen Temple and stuff by the English names?
Sometimes. So I feel like whenever there's a map that is not very translatable, they just go with the English one. Sometimes they make it a loan word, but sometimes there's actually maps that translate very well into Korean, so it's actually the Korean words, which I don't know. So, yeah, just Dusk Towers, I was gonna guess. I think was the one I remember being a Korean word for dusk and towers.
Oh, interesting. I also kind of wonder, King Sejong Station. Obviously, that's a real place in Korea, but do they actually have the word king also, the English word king there? I wonder.
I think so.
These are all things that we should ask Crank.
Yeah. King Sejong Station is the only it was the first reason I suppose that I knew who he was, because I looked it up when it was first in the map pool. StarCraft 2 teaches you. Yay! Yay, learning.
I mean, you tried to learn Korean for a while, right?
Well, I took a college class and my own studying, so I can get around in Korea. I helped you guys.
You did. I am pretty sure I would not have ever found our hotel if I had not been picked up by you. Because that was actually kind of confusing to me. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we're hopping into Dusk Towers for game number 2. We'll see you guys there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are in game number 2. We're going to be spawned down here in the bottom right-hand corner, or bottom left-hand corner of the map. Top of the orange, Terran player is looking for a comeback. Currently down 0-1. Give it up for Soloist.
In the top right, as the pink Zerg, she is Scarlett.
And someone in the chat asking, where is Rifkin? It's the morning, and that means that the sunlight is out. So,
oh yeah,
he doesn't want to burn up.
Legitimately, depending on how hungover he is, and I don't think he ever gets hungover, but you could be the sun is out, so he doesn't want to get up. Same thing.
That's just his excuse.
He went to his high school reunion yesterday and just figured he'd be too tired after he came back because he lives out in the middle of nowhere, so he has to drive back 2 hours or whatever.
Do you go for your high school reunions, or if you haven't had one yet, will you go for your high school reunions?
Yeah, absolutely. I like my high school experience. I'm looking forward to learning what people thought of me 10 years ago at the time and what they look like now.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, I actually got along really, really well with my high school friends. In fact, my high school friends right now are, in a lot of ways, like my best friends right now. They're the ones that I still hang out with to this day, like, and I probably spend the most time with in terms of, like, people that I hang out with. But I hear that that's, like, really not common.
Right, yeah, that's exactly my experience. Like, I went to my best friend of 10 years wedding the past weekend, and all my best friends from high school were there, and it was great. So, I don't know. I am a lot more interested, to be honest, because I'm already friends with all, like, my high school friends. There's almost, they do say that's almost reason not to go back to the reunion, but I want to know what everyone thought of me. Because hopefully by, like, 10 years, right, there's, like, a bit of buffer if they thought I was really stupid and ugly. I'd be like, oh, that's...
Yeah, to be fair though, I don't think most people will still say that to your face. Also, apparently King Sejong Station is in Antarctica, not Korea.
I was gonna, I didn't pay enough attention to be like, yeah, it's called King Sejong Station. I just know that we went someplace that had King Sejong as a statue.
I mean, King Sejong, that's a Korean person, right? I thought that's what the whole, okay.
Yeah, he was the king that created their alphabet.
What was Korea doing in Antarctica? I don't even know.
Well, it makes sense that it's a snowy map then, isn't it? And not just the middle of Seoul.
That's true.
Makes sense.
I don't know what the weather's like. We weren't there actually we were there in the winter. Shit.
October really wasn't that cold though. I'm actually really scared because like my current plan is to go like in November or whatever.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
That's gonna be scary. All right, so talking a bit about this game really quickly, we did have a pretty fast tech up to Starport immediately after the CC was dropped down over here for Soloist, throwing down the third CC after the medevac starts up. So he's going to be able to get out a fairly fast Widowmine drop. Scarlett, on the other hand, did just go for a fast 3 CC, or CC build, fast 3 hatch build, is adding on some of her gas guys, but really only going up to 3. So I don't think it's going to be some sort of crazy fast tech up or anything. It seems like a just pretty standard lay of the land build.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of a reason for her to all in, especially since the last time she did it went so poorly. That was like the one opportunity that maybe Soloist actually has like a tank or a bunker and it doesn't work out and it's kind of a waste of a game, especially when you know that you can defeat him in a macro game. And we saw Scarlett's power on Dusk Towers in a macro game. Like, she just rolled over Keen. So probably anticipating the same thing if she's allowed to get there, which with Soloist's build, she will be able to. This double Widowmine drop shouldn't be doing very much. I gotta say, Scarlett's probably feeling really good about winning this Olimoleague, which would automatically qualify her into the Olimoleague finals. Just if you win one, it's just enough points.
Has she ever won in Olimoleague?
No, and no foreigner really has, except Need back in the beta.
Yeah.
So she should be the first again, or whatever you want to call it.
Neeb isn't even a foreigner at this point anymore.
Right? He just basically is just basically Korean. Because she also beat Billowy already, so I guess she's feeling really confident about that.
Sport Call is already here. Wow, gets the medevac. That is actually a pretty big win, because, oh boy. Well, things are not going so well right now for Soloist. I almost said Solar.
No, it is not. I mean, losing the medevac, like, you know, this late, a Widowmine drop is probably gonna die. Like, the Widowmines are probably gonna die, but you at least get maybe a queen or like 2 drones. But you save the medevac, most importantly. And that going down just immediately as it did is really quite bad. And to have them continue producing Widowmines and dropping Widowmines, it just doesn't feel very worth it.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. Like, it's actually one of the things that I'll say about Neeb, because I get to see a lot of Neeb and everything. And one of the weird weaknesses that Neeb actually used to have, and I don't think he has it as much anymore, but he used to actually have like this weird, I don't know, weakness toward Widowmines. And it wasn't the first set of Widowmines, it was like every single time someone just kept dropping like Widowmines constantly against him, he would eventually just take like 30 losses. Like, he would lose like 20 to 30 workers with like a single hit. And I feel like that might sort of be the hope for Soloist. It's like, hey, the first round didn't do anything. Oh god, he loses the medevac again. That's really unideal. But you know, maybe these 2 Widowmines, their next round of shots will get something done. Or maybe the next round of Widowmines will get something done.
And maybe the next one. The problem really is not just losing the medevacs, which I'd say is one of the the bigger problems.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, imagine if all 6, because it was 4 and 2, Widow Mines were here. Like his push would actually be pretty scary, like oddly scary, because you're just not used to that many Widow Mines initially.
Yeah.
You know, splits could probably take care of it, but still, like that's like 8 Widow Mines with the first push. You gotta be damn careful about your Baneling control at the very least. Now it's gonna be 6, I suppose, or none. He drops it again.
Oh boy. Well, loading up 4 more Widow Mines. Here we go. Scarlett immediately scouts it out with a patrolling Zergling, and is gonna be able to just, I guess, prepare it preemptively. Is moving her Zerglings over to the 4th expansion. Gonna have her queens ready, but more importantly, the Mutals are now out, so they can even hunt down that medevac once again. And I think that there's only, if this medevac dies, there's only one other medevac on the field. There's not even another medevac being produced.
Oh god, this is such an odd way to play TVZ.
I mean, this series has been an odd TVZ.
He's going for Blue Flame Hellbats without opening Hellions, and then a Thor.
Okay.
A Thor? You know what's better than a Thor? Liberators.
Okay, well, one of the Widow Mines kills off 2 workers, so there's that. Let's take a look at the units lost tab. 31 Zerglings. That's not as bad as I thought. 2 Banelings and 3 drones for 12 Widow Mines and 4 medevacs. Oh my god.
It's so bad. Oh my god.
Like I don't know if like Soloist just like probably like an up and coming player, and after that last game probably not feeling super great. Is maybe not like playing to the greatest of his abilities, but I'm sure that like when you drop this many Widow Mines, a lot of players just won't expect it, and you get a lot more done. But this Scarlett's just been on top of it.
Yeah, she really has. Soloist's army it's not just not bad, it's actually pretty good. It's 30 army supply up, and it is very durable army, so Scarlett has to be careful not to just throw away a bunch of Banelings, like specifically into those Hellbats and Thors, but even into the Marauders. But if Soloist doesn't think the army's right outside, he could just walk into the Banelings. Oh god, start the splits.
Oh god, I don't think there's any room to split right now. He can try to maybe move behind the mineral line, but the good focus fire on the Banelings.
That was so lazy of her to just throw the Banelings in the floor.
Oh my god.
I think she saw like a grand opportunity that she was probably just gonna kill everything, and it was like YOLO. But that was actually, I mean, I don't think she'll lose the 4th base, but this is like that scary point where you're usually like, oh crap, make Banelings hurry, because they are going towards the 4th.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm actually a little bit surprised that it, because it looked like Soloist was just about to be cornered and murdered over there, like completely gutted, but I guess he just had like I don't even know if it was like necessarily focus fire as much as it was just stimming up, and all there was over there was Banelings that the Marines and Marauders just like managed to kill off behind the mineral line. But regardless, Soloist does still have a pretty scary army. Like you were saying, I don't know if it's really going to be enough to end the game right now, but if another good engagement happens over here, Soloist doing a pretty good job with the split.
Yeah, much better splits this time. And still just barely enough Marines to take on, or not. They don't have their armor upgrade. Here comes a Thor, which again, so odd to see a Thor. Like 2 Liberators come out, I think they do a lot more damage, but that's, there we go. Hey, look at that, there's 2 Liberators.
Hey.
Not necessarily for the ground though, I was definitely talking about the air. Soloist did not get a 4th base, so that's just the main command center moving over. I mean, he's lasting a fairly long time, and Scarlett was almost at a dangerous point of overcommitting and getting too confident, but she still is on 4 bases, getting a bank, and most importantly, getting up to that hive.
You know, the more that I think about it, I think I like the Thor decision a little bit. Well, okay, now I don't like it as much. I was gonna say, like, the fact that he had lost so many medevacs with all those Widowmine drops, he really was hurting on being able to produce additional medevacs out of his starport. He kind of needed them. Actually, no, I do like it, because the Thor is sort of like it's not as great as the Liberator at dealing with Mutalists, but it is a way that you can get out both medevacs and some sort of form of anti-Mutalists at the same time, because otherwise you're kind of choosing between producing medevacs or Liberators.
I suppose. I mean, that's a decent enough point. He lost so many early on, but you're also not producing as many Widow Mines, I would say, as you would want, but he is going for Hellbats, so I guess he doesn't really care.
Yeah. Well, Mutale's trying to find a little bit of opportunity to get some damage done. Not making a whole lot happen. In fact, Scarlett may be a little bit out of position with these Mutals to try and clean up any additional medevacs. Not that there are a whole lot of them, but even just the Liberate and everything, having some anti-air would be nice.
The kindness plating's still not on the way. She might have to remax on Ultras after this engagement. There's just so many Marauders and Hellbats that actually mass Banelings probably would never trade like super well, but it's just like overwhelming numbers type deal. And it is just barely overwhelming numbers. Couple Marines up over on the backside on the reinforcement line. Splits the last like 8 Marines that he has, and he'll have to boost those medevacs back.
Yeah, definitely taking the engagement on creep, working out quite well for Scarlett, able to take a pretty good series of trades over there. And is able to get at least a lot of the medevacs very low, if not able to kill off any of them. But Scarlett defends her 4th and 5th expansions that is now completed. And as you were saying, Ultra is going to be coming out. We have Kindness Plating on the way. And there's not really much of an answer to it right now for Soloist. He does have some of the Liberators coming down. And I guess Thors aren't going to be the worst versus Ultralisk. I mean, they do 30 damage a shot.
I heard that Polt was trying to go like Thor tank or Thor, how about? I forget, but he was like, point is he was including Thors, and I do recall him trying to do that in the past.
Yeah.
Like Thors, if you get like 6 of them, they're gonna body block first of all.
Yeah, they don't clump up either.
So they can't help.
Oh. Okay, well, Thor getting some decent shots off on the Mutalisk, but the Mutalisk able to take out some of the Liberators. That's definitely going to go nicely for Scarlett, because taking out those Liberators, that does mean taking out a lot of the anti-Ultralisk composition. But here we go. Soloist has a really nice position on the high ground, where he's covering the low ground of the rocks and the high ground of the rocks. He maybe needs to knock it down to get out of here, but taking out the 4th is pretty nice.
Recall that Soloist doesn't really have like extra command centers, by the way.
Oh, that's his main base.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive that usually when they move over the main base, they're already like all in on creep and they're about to lose anyway. And he might just lose here on creep, as I'm saying it, but they usually die a lot sooner. It's like a really like usually desperate move. But
oh, the fungals.
Oh dear God.
All right, well that's gonna be the cleanup crew over here for Scarlett. Orange sitting up 1-0 in the semifinals, and it looks like Scarlett is gonna be able to absolutely clean house. Soloist still does have about 50 army supply, but I think it's all in the production tab right now.
Yes, I agree. It's funny that he's now going for drilling claws. He's like, I have a tech lab on this factory, might as well use it. And Widow Mines, they actually do kind of okay against ultras, especially if they don't bring overseers along, but they're not as good as liberators and ghosts, or hell, even like a big number of tanks. I'm actually extremely in favor of Terrans that go for like 3 tank production towards the late game, if they can. The problem is most of them never get that economy, but I think they can be really good.
Yeah, especially not on the economy that Soloist has been sitting on, where you didn't even bother to make a 4th. And now he's floating over his natural expansion over to the potential 5th expansion. I don't even know if that's actually going to work. I also want to note the creep spread for Scarlett is ridiculous, and that's part of the reason why she's also been able to take such good engagements versus this bio, because the Banelings have been getting pretty damn good hits off of Soloist's army. This spreading, or the splitting is like okay-ish, but you can only do so much when your opponent's on creep.
Yeah, he's never bothered to scan. I guess he's been using the mules, but if he does scan, or I actually can't remember if he scanned or not, but I guess he's just been pushed back. He's probably never killed those creep queens, and it's really easy to unless the pressure is really on, it's pretty easy to continue developing that creep. The Widow Mines, they do nice damage to the ultras, but you need about like 8 more Widow Mines.
Oh boy. And here come a couple more fungals. Gonna be able to take out these liberators, no problem. One Ultralisk cleaves his way through the entire mineral line, killing about 17, 18 workers over here. And that might not be the biggest blow, just losing a couple of workers over here, but hey, well, Soloist is doing a pretty good job with these Marauders at least, pushing back this force, and Scarlett's trying to throw down the fungals, not really getting the greatest one so far.
Yeah. She probably could have taken an okay engagement, but don't.
Why?
She doesn't really have to.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to remax on ultras. She can use her money for broodlords right now and probably deal with the mass marauder army.
Yeah, and there is effectively one mining base right now for Soloist. If even one base, I would actually call it half a base right now. I'm trying to float that third command center over to the 5th expansion. He's sitting on 2 orbitals at this point.
Oh god.
Oh god, if
fungal
Scarlett
on these SPs,
if
please.
Scarlett moves, yeah, exactly. If she throws down the fungal from the high ground, that could actually murder almost every single one over here, but I don't think she needs to at this point. It's all just about style.
Nothing to deal with these brood lords, and even if they were like unprotected, there's not enough marines to calm them down. So
Yeah.
the marauders are doing a decent job. These ultralists never regained health or any queens on the backside transfusing, but they can't deal with the broodlings, and if they ever get fungal, it's game over. Even without a fungal, it's game over.
Yeah, GG gets called, and Soloist is gonna tap out, pause the game on accident, and Scarlett's gonna take victory.
Okie dokie, that's gonna go into the finals then, which is gonna start on King Sage on Station. Speaking of.
Yeah, we're gonna hop into a short little break. I do want to note that the DreamHack North American Valencia qualifiers are happening right now. They've already started. In fact, I think some of the matches are already ending for the first round. But here's the situation. We're going to be finishing up this grand finals for the Olimoleague first, since of course grand finals, who wants to miss that? But also after that, I think Zombie Grub is going to be taken off since she's been casting a lot, and I'm going to be soloing through the DreamHack Valencia qualifiers. So we'll be back in a little bit, guys. Don't go anywhere.